Hey guys, what's up? This punk guy here. Thanks for joining me back on my review channel. Glad to see you guys again. Before we get into the review, let's just start off with all the good stuff. Don't forget to add me at this punk guy on Instagram. I'll put the link down there. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you like this review, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. So let's get right into it. So we're doing Strike Anywhere's fourth full-length LP or EP, depending on what you want to call it. We'll talk about that in a minute. Nightmares of the West, released on Pure Noise Records. Here it is. Here's the front. Here's the back. You know, it's only got 7 tracks, so that makes it kind of short. And it's been about 10 years since their last record came out, Iron Front, back in 2009, I believe. So my question right off the bat is, what constitutes an EP as opposed to an LP? Now, for an EP, this has a lot more tracks. Usually I consider an EP about 4 or 5 tracks and an LP about 10. So this is 7. So whatever you want to call this, they're calling it an EP. I'm going to call it an LP. You give it whatever name you want to call it. I'll be the first to admit I'm not the most well-versed Strike Anywhere fan, but they do consider themselves to be a hardcore band, which to me is kind of weird. I always considered them just maybe more of a straightforward punk band. I know their older stuff is a little bit more harder and aggressive. This album seems to be a little more tame by their standards. But I've always considered them to be more of a punk band. But you know what? Bands like Ignite and H2O consider themselves to be a hardcore band, and I've always just considered them a punk band. So, you know, put whatever label you want on it. So enough about that. Let's get right into the album. Now, I'm going to have some harsh critiques about the way this album sonically sounds because, first off, I'm not a fan of the way it sounds at all. It sounds really compressed. All the high and low ends are kind of taken out of it. I'm not a fan of the way that sounds usually. It sounds really overly produced. Everything kind of rides in the middle. It takes away from, like, the energy of the album. You know, for instance, when a band is doing, like, a build-up, you know, they're giving momentum before they give out that big explosion, that frantic vibe. It's just not there with this recording because the highs and the lows are taken out. But maybe that's also the sound that they're going for. Maybe that's the vibe they want to go with, because they do have that kind of like hot water music vibe, and I'm not really into that subgenre of punk like I've mentioned before on previous records. To me, Strike Anywhere has always kind of aligned themselves with the similarity of bands like Anti-Flag. I mean, to me, the only difference between Strike Anywhere and Anti-Flag is Anti-Flag comes up with more catchy hooks. As opposed to Strike Anywhere, where they are more lyrically based, they really do cram a lot of lyrics in this album. Each song is almost like a short essay. I find it really refreshing and nostalgic because when I was younger, I would go out and buy an album and I'd really sink myself into the lyrics. I'd read it and listen to the album play, really trying to digest everything they're trying to give me. Strike Anywhere is definitely a smart band, and they demand that you be too. Their lyrics demand a high level of comprehension. Like the difference between taking high school philosophy and Strike Anywhere, which is like college philosophy. And with only 7 tracks, they really do make the most of it. But now that we're talking about the tracks, let's get right into them. And I would say if this album had a theme, I would say the title definitely reflects that, Nightmares of the West. Putting to light all the atrocities that happened during Manifest Destiny and all the repercussions that we're still dealing with to this day with that. Themes like slavery with the track Bells, and also hitting on systematic racism with Dress the Wounds and Documentary. And all these tracks are kind of wrapped up in a cocoon of like these protest songs, you know, fighting for real freedoms that we're losing as opposed to, you know, pretending that we are deemed to have all these unofficial freedoms. Basically, if you're a Karen, this album's not for you. The track Imperium of Waste is definitely my favorite track, and I think pretty much sums up this whole album. Getting rid of that old harmful mentality and really replacing it with a more loving and thought-provoking way of life and a way of thinking. But also really critiquing that old guard of people trying to hold on to those old systematic values because the fear and the loss of the power they'll lose. And it really is something relevant that we're seeing that's going on in the world right now. So in conclusion, this album has a lot to say if you're willing to listen to it. Although I'm not sonically a fan of the way this album sounds per se, I do give Strike Anywhere mad props to their lyrics. They really kind of like went full force and I loved it. So I'm going to go ahead and give this album a 3 out of 5 stars. One of the things that was missing was the lack of hooks and kind of catchy intros and outros that a song usually has. The replayability is kind of low because they're just kind of spitting so many lyrics at you. There's no time for like catchy grooves, or, you know, you get it here and there, but not as much as I would like. And to me, like, if you're a hardcore Strike Anywhere fan, I believe you're gonna like this no matter what, because it's been 10 years since they put anything out, and you're probably just happy they put something out, as am I. Thanks guys for watching that review. I hope you guys like it. That was Strike Anywhere's Nightmare of the West. Let me know, what did you guys think? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? You consider it an EP or LP? I personally consider it an LP. My point being is, not every album is going to have like the most glorious review. That's just my opinion. Let me know, what did you guys think about it? Leave a comment. Let me know. I know when I don't give the best glowing reviews, people have a lot of negative things to say. So I guess bring them. It doesn't bother me. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not. This is just my opinion. But anyway, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at @thispunkguy. Like I said, I'll put a link there. Give this video a thumbs up. And until next time, guys, I'll see you at a show! Thanks for watching that review, guys. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what you guys thought. Also, my next review is going to be something a little bit different, so I'm very excited about that. But until then, why don't you check out one of my past videos and let me know what you guys thought about those. Thanks.